Greetings, kindred spirits, and welcome to all the new subscribers to my channel. I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you very much for all you that have been supporting me throughout 2019. And it's really nice to see some newcomers on board. So welcome to those of you. I'd also like to mention I did an interview with Seeker's Library. I actually did it back in October, but it was released on the 16th of December. And I've put a link to that in the description box below. Now that links to iTunes, but if you can't link to it through that, then you can visit my Facebook page and you'll find it on there if you would like to know more about 13 Star Sign Astrology and my journey with it. There's also a link there to Steve Nobel's meditation that I'm suggesting for this new moon solar eclipse. So I'm going to start with the new moon, as I usually do, either the full moon or the new moon. So the new moon begins in Sagittarius in the true lifetime sky on the 26th of December at 5:13 in the GMT time zone, at 00:13 in the EDT time zone, and at 16:13 in the AEDT time zone. Our new moon solar eclipse will take place right at the heart of the galactic centre in the true lifetime sky, and will create a ring of fire in our skies. So for those of you who live in East Europe, Asia, Northwest Australia and Northeast Africa, will get a bird's eye view of this event. Our Sun and Moon will also be in conjunction to Jupiter and the South Node, and will be in trine to Uranus and the goddess Vesta of the sacred fire. So I really do feel that this new moon is very important and significant as we end 2019. This strong fire energy is all about purification, sanctity and karma. And this energy has been building up throughout the year of 2019, but has increased in strength throughout this month of December especially. So the masculine energy is always very strong when it's a solar eclipse, and shows that there is a final clearance for those who have been struggling with awkward situations in their lives, especially if it has to do with commitments that have become more than burdensome. The energies coming in are very deep and transforming, but also very magical and life-changing for the better, although we may not necessarily feel that at this time. And funny enough, throughout this year, that film, The Never-Ending Story, has constantly been on my mind. And I actually spoke about it at my talk in Glastonbury earlier this year in August. And I felt this story was very connected to what has been occurring throughout this year. So watch out for the luck dragon, because I really do feel that many who have been experiencing or clearing negativity from their environments are going to be thrown a lifeline back to a place of peace of mind and solace. As long as they can raise their vibration and take the time needed for a final reflection on their lot in life. Globally, there could be a lot of confusion and conflict regarding morals, traditions and religious values. And this is not a time to push forward on any goals or ambitions as such. This is actually a time for reflection and keeping it simple when it comes to our daily lives. The energies are much too deep and intense for us to be able to form clear and precise decisions. But this is a fantastic time to do something out of the ordinary, or to reach out to those less fortunate, like the homeless, or checking on elderly neighbours, or even feeding the birds. But anyway, things along those lines would be especially good to lift your spirits and create good karma. And that's only if you have the time and space to do that. Because for many, especially in large cities, this is a time of year that can be very lonely and a melancholy time. I also recommend yoga, meditation and walks in nature. That will be very soothing and uplifting. So really just keeping it simple. We have a double T-square this new moon, with our moon, sun, Jupiter and the south node all in opposition to the north node, and all of those are in square to Chiron, the wounded healer, and the black moon Lilith. So this shows a clearing of our deepest wounds and fears that may be holding us back from reaping the rewards of our past actions. It is definitely a time to let go of the old so that the new can enter into our lives. But we must be in that place of readiness to face whatever needs to be faced and to break through our own defense mechanisms that we have put in place due to old wounds that haven't been dealt with. So this grand aspect also shows a lack of energy and possibly a little bit of depression when it comes to old wounds or old memories or just feelings of what's going on in our lives now. But we must accept our part in all we have experienced, because these aspects are all about life lessons, which are also about strengthening our boundaries and helping us to develop our self-esteem, to know that we deserve more than we often allow ourselves to receive. So we must break free of all that no longer serves us on a soul level. Pluto will move forward 1 degree on the 27th of December at 8:10 in the GMT time zone, which will create quite a shift in energy. This will also bring the Saturn-Pluto conjunction back within a 2-degree conjunction. Pluto will move from 25 degrees to 26 degrees in Sagittarius, and where he will sit throughout the exact conjunction on the 12th of January 2020. Saturn will move forward 1 degree on the 30th of December. Please excuse the traffic out there. Bringing the Saturn-Pluto conjunction back within a 1 degree conjunction. And that will be very significant again, because I consider this day, the 30th of December, to be another 3-3 portal, since I feel that the energy of this 3 universal year is very strong throughout this month of December, as it was in March earlier this year. So it could be that there is some relevance for some when it comes to events or situations that may have occurred around March of this year. Whatever the case, this 3-3 portal will be highly significant in some form or way, and the energies will continue to strengthen and deepen throughout the rest of this year and throughout January 2020, with all the astronomical events taking place one after another. I'm going to give some dates now. So the exact Saturn-Pluto conjunction will take place on the 12th of January 2020 at 13:30 in the GMT time zone. Saturn will actually join Pluto at the same degree, which will be 26, on the 8th of January at 3:01 in the GMT time zone. Then we will have a full moon lunar eclipse on the 10th of January in the sign of Gemini in the true lifetime sky. And Uranus will go direct in Aries on the 11th of January at 2:54 in the GMT time zone. And then the exact Saturn-Pluto conjunction will take place on the 12th alongside the Sun, Mercury and the goddess Ceres, who will also be in conjunction to Saturn and Pluto. Jupiter and the South Node will be in conjunction close by. So, that is one event after another, but we'll go more into that at the full moon podcast, or I should say in the full moon podcast, which I should have posted up by the 7th or 8th of January. So keep the faith, everyone, because these energy shifts can be very disrupting and chaotic. You know, we must continue to work on keeping ourselves centered and stable as possible. And I'd say look out for signs, symbols, numbers, dreams and visions, because our psychic intuition will be very high throughout this time. And I also recommend that we stay open-minded and open-hearted as all sorts of revelations come to light. So I just want to wish you all happy holidays and sending you all peace and much love.